Hello, and welcome to this very special holiday episode of the Budget Knitter podcast. My name is WSpargur, and I am your host. You can find me on Ravelry as WSpargurKnits. You can find me on Instagram as @WillMSU, on Twitter as WillSpargur9455, and we also have a Facebook page that's facebook.com/thebudgetknitter. I will put all of those links and stuff in the video description box below so that you can go and find me and follow me and keep up with all of the fun little updates that I do. I try to post on Instagram every day or every 2 days if I possibly can, and from there I kind of just... Ravelry I'm still working on. Ravelry's weird. I still don't quite understand all of the things that you can do with Ravelry, and I'm not quite at a point where I can sit down and kind of play with it. So if you have any tips on how to use Ravelry, please put those in the comment section below, because I'm going to read those and see if I can kind of get through using it a little bit more, because I would like to start using it more here. So if you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much for joining me again. If you are a new subscriber, thank you so much. We welcome you here at the podcast. Everybody is welcome. Excuse me. Well, it's been an interesting day, along with my wonderful, wonderful Santa hat that I have here. It's been a fun couple of weeks, and I've got not a whole lot, but I do have some really fun updates for you. And at the end of this video, I want to thank everyone who sent me pictures of their Christmas trees. I also want to apologize and say that I should have been a little bit more inclusive, so if you celebrate Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or any other type of holiday during this time of the year, I really should have asked that you send me any pictures that of things that you use to celebrate the holiday that you celebrate. And I didn't think about this until a friend or a coworker of mine who is Jewish said, I was going to send you a picture of my menorah for your thing, and I went, I cannot believe I didn't ask that people send me pictures of their menorahs or whatever they used to celebrate. So, but thank you to everybody who did send me pictures of your trees. They're very beautiful. I included some from my family, and I also did kind of do like an Instagram and Pinterest search to find some other trees that I found really exciting or just beautiful, and so I included those as well, because I did want to put some music behind this, and I wanted there to be plenty of music. So that montage is going to be at the end of this video, so stick around. And I'm filming this on Saturday, but you might not see it until Christmas Eve or even Christmas Day, so it might make it just a little bit more special. So I hope that you are going to stick around and check that out. So jumping right in, what am I drinking? Well, in the tradition of it being oddly a cold night here in Las Vegas, I am drinking a wonderful cup of hot cocoa in my reindeer mug. I just heated some water in the microwave, but I put it in a little bit too long, so this is actually still like boiling temperature right now, so I'm not actually drinking it. I am setting it aside to drink it when I'm done. But I do have that. And then from there, just a little bit about what's going on. So you guys saw my flute choir concert. I did post that for you. I was very pleased with how that came out. I can tell you that the rehearsal we had right before the concert, a few days, it did not sound like that. I was a little bit worried that it wasn't going to come out the way that it did, but it came out great. I'm very proud of everybody in the group, and I'm very proud of what we were able to put on for the people that showed up. I think we did have close to 300 people come to the concert, which is actually a pretty big deal, because you know, we're just a small community group, so to have 300 people show up on the same day that we actually had some really big things happening in town, it's really exciting for us. So those concerts are pretty much out of the way. I had a choir concert as well. Unfortunately, I can find the video. It was live streamed, but I can't, there's no way for me to download it to like keep it for myself, and it's going to get deleted at some point. I will put a link to the archived live stream so you can go and watch it, but unfortunately once it's gone, it's gone. I have no other way of obtaining that to keep on my channel or anything, but I will include a link for that. I sing a solo for Go Tell It on the Mountain, so if you also enjoy singing there or choir type things, then there will be somewhere where you can go to watch that as well. Other than that, my little puppy Duchess, she was sick for about a week. She just started throwing up one day, and then she wouldn't eat. She never really lost a lot of energy. She was still pretty excitable, jumping around and having a good time, but she wouldn't eat. She would eat maybe once every 2 or 3 days. So finally she's back, she's eating again, but she's eating like her teeth hurt. So if that continues, I'm probably going to end up having to take her to the vet and find out, you know, if there's some other underlying issue there. But other than that, she seems to be doing a whole lot better. She's wrestling with the other dog, and they're having a great time, so I'm hoping it was just maybe I had bought some kind of treat that Princess could eat and was fine, but Duchess got sick, so I'm probably not going to be giving her that ever again. And then really, I'm just in the Christmas spirit. Green Santa hat, I've got my garland here, and my tree here. I forgot that I had candy canes till just now, and I kind of want one. They don't really put the flavors on these. These are those, like, jelly bean ones. Jelly Belly candy cane. Oh, this is cherry. I might have that later. So yeah, this is my favorite time of year, as I've said a couple of times before, so I'm just really excited to be here, celebrating the holidays. My family sent me all of the gifts they had purchased, so they're all wrapped under my tree. They were pre-wrapped, I don't know what they are yet, but I'm actually going to be a good person and wait until December 25th to open those. But I'm very grateful to my family for sending me those gifts. I'm really excited to see what's in them, and by the time some of my family watches this podcast, I may have opened them by then. So anyway, let's get into the knitting. I only have a couple of things to show, but I'm really excited about them. So the first thing that I want to show is it's a half object. So I've been working on another pair of socks, and I'm on a stool, not a chair, so I'm gonna have to get down. Okay, so I'm on sock number 2, and actually about 30 minutes ago I finally divided for the heel on this one. So I'm finally working the heel on this sock. Again, this is in Tink Yarn by Terry, who frequents the Sin City Knit Shop here in Las Vegas. She does hand dye yarn, but she only sells locally. So if you want Tink Yarn, you're gonna have to come to Las Vegas and go to Sin City Knit Shop so that you can pick some up. But I do have the first one done. It has been knit, it has been blocked, and there it is. It's done. I'm so thrilled. I just love the colors. I love the way it goes down the foot and the.
Cash. That he was going to come in and get $8,500
my TV just turned
cash,
on,
and then he wanted it all in $100 bills.
And it's on Investigation Discovery. Just a second.
An hour later, Ed walked into the bank alone.
He didn't have Mrs. Moran with.
We just got cable reinstalled, and now our TV likes to turn itself on. It's weird. Anyway, so yes. Now the only thing is, like, I love how it spirals down the leg here. It didn't do that so much on the foot, and the reason why is, for those of you who are new, this yarn was gifted to me because the dyer's cat had gotten into it and tangled it. So what ended up being gifted to me was actually a tangled mess of yarn, and it had multiple strands. It had, I think, up to 8 different pieces and lengths of yarn. So they're actually knotted together in here. If I flip this inside out, if I don't drop it, I flip this is where, because it was already knotted, okay, so there's a knot, there's a knot, there's a knot, There's a knot up here. So there are 4 different pieces of yarn, or 4 different lengths of yarn in here, from where when I untangled it, I either had to cut it in places or I had to kind of sort through it, or and to begin with, I think there were about 4 different lengths before I did any cutting. So each different length it's dyed the same, but the lengths start and end in different places within the yarn repeat, or excuse me, the color repeat. So as it continued down the foot, it didn't have quite the same spiraling effect, which honestly, this is the part people don't see, because I tend to wear my socks everywhere. By the way, I found that other purple one from the last podcast where I lost the other one that I had knit. I found them. They just ended up very different in separate places in the laundry. But I did find it, and I have worn them. They're very nice. But I like to wear them to, like work and out. So people aren't going to really see the foot of the sock. They're only going to see the leg. So I'm not too worried about it. And honestly, it still looks nice. It just doesn't have quite the same spiraling effect. But, it is what it is. Okay, so that's object number 1. I have one other work in progress. I have shown this before, but I've been working on it recently. Still haven't gotten as much done on it as I would like. There's something about crocheting shawls, because it's a shawl. It's the virus shawl. There's something about crocheting shawls that, especially if you start at the middle of the back and work your way out, of course every row gets longer and longer and longer, and there's just something annoyingly tedious about doing it. Anyway, so I have it in this bag, which I've shown before. I've shown a little bit of this stuff before. But I have gotten some work done on this. It slowly gets bigger every time. So I'm gonna do, I don't know, I'm doing this on a 6.5mm hook. These are both red heart yarns, one's black and one's silver, and it actually is kind of a metallic color. It's hard to see here because most of the light is behind me, so you're getting like a darkened version of everything. But this is I love this pattern. It's just a really tedious job, and I probably won't be doing a virus shawl again, only because as beautiful as it is, it gets really redundant. Not redundant, it's so repetitive, and I've done one of these before, and so I think I just want to try something new. So yeah. It's weird, when it comes to things like this, with the virus shawl, I only want to do it 1 or 2 times, so I'm kind of over the pattern. It's really funny that I love knitting socks, like just plain vanilla socks. I think it's because there you get to see more of the qualities and colors of the yarn, and with this it's more about the pattern. I don't know. To each their own, I guess. Okay. So I do have one finished object. Unfortunately, I don't have it with me. If you've been following me for a little bit, I did some yarn dyeing, and then I dyed it for my friend Christian based on her favorite album cover by her favorite band, The Killers. It was the Hot Fuss album. That yarn was knit into a hat, and I did finish it. I finished the hat for her. It is currently in the mail on the way to her house. It is not going to get there before Christmas, unfortunately, but it should be there the 27th, so 2 days after. But I did finish it, and I'm inserting some pictures here so that you can see it. At this time, or at the time the pictures were taken, this hat was still actually a little bit wet, but it was being blocked. I think it was just damp at this point, but I did want to get some pictures taken so that I could send them to her. And I actually, while it was wet, it was draping a little bit better, so I just took some pictures real quick. The great thing is that after it dried, I didn't dry it on the mannequin head because I didn't want the brim to stretch out, or I didn't want it to dry stretched out. So it did dry as flat as I could get it, but the nice thing is that it did, there's some lace in there, some yarn overs, and that did block out so that you can see the pattern in it, as you can should have been able to see in those pictures. But Christian is going to send me a picture of her wearing the hat as soon as she gets it, and I will include a picture of that both on Instagram and on my next podcast in 2 weeks. So hopefully you'll be seeing just how excited she is to get the hat, as I am beyond excited for her to receive it. So I know she's gonna love it. I've talked to her a little bit, like even when I messaged her and said, hey, it's on the way, she sent back, yay, I can't wait, I'm so excited. So I know that immediately she's gonna love it. So yeah, that is my only finished object at this moment. That's really all I'm working on. I've had that cloak that I started a while ago, and I do have intentions of finishing that. I've just been, I want to get this pair of socks done, I want to get this virus shawl done. What I'm trying to do is get some of my older projects done so that I can get back to the newer stuff. I have stuff that's been sitting in project bags for the longest time, and I think it's time to finish those. So I'm gonna work on getting some of that done before I go back to finishing some of the newer projects, especially considering the cloak is pretty close to done. So I know that when it becomes time to pick that back up, that it's gonna be a breeze. Are the colors shifting for you guys? It's like every time I look at the screen that it goes from green to red to green to red. Anyway, I mean, at least it's Christmassy, right? So there are a couple of new things that I've received that I want to show you. Not necessarily received, there's a couple of new things as well. But there is one thing I do want to show you. If you'll remember, a couple of weeks ago, I did a review of the Mihausa 16-inch stainless steel fixed circular knitting needle set. I did a review of that. I do want to let you know that, yes, that was sponsored. I was asked to do that review for you. That does not mean that I gave any kind of positive review because they sponsored me. Like, I legitimately love those needles. I actually have another hat that I want to start very soon, and I'm gonna use that set. I have to. It's not because they told me to. It's literally because it's such a great set that I really feel like not using them would be a complete disservice. They really are a great set for the money. I do want to remind you, if you haven't picked up the set, they have them in 16-inch, 23-inch, and 31.5-inch cord lengths. If you haven't picked up a set, you can use the code WILLKNIT at checkout on Amazon to get 10% off of that set. You can use that, I believe, for the next 5.5 months. However, so building on that, they sent me another set. They've asked me to review. So the great thing is it comes in the same case, this same really nice canvas quality case. So what this actually is, it's a set of 3 circular knitting needles. These are the 47-inch cord lengths. And these are wooden, bulky needles. So they have a really long, clear, I think it's actually hollow. It's like a hollow plastic cord. But this is meant for bulky yarn, and I actually intend to use this for things like blanket knitting. I haven't started using them yet. I did want to let you know that I have them, and I will be doing a review on them very soon. Just real quick, they come in 15 millimeter. I do not know what these US sizes are. So 15 millimeter, 20 millimeter, and the biggest one is 25 millimeters. So 15, 20, and 25 millimeters. Again, that I have the 47-inch cable length. I was told that they do come in 2 additional cord lengths that are a little bit shorter if you don't need something that long. And there will be a coupon code for this set as well. And I will be revealing that code as soon as I've done a review of this set. So be looking for that because so far, 2 for 2, love the sets that they've come out with. I think they're great, especially for beginners. So yeah, be sure to check them out. They also do have a straight needle set. So if you're looking for straight needles, they have that as well. And again, these are all available on Amazon. I think there is a very loud truck outside and some very loud people. Anyway, so Mihausa wooden bulky needle set. All right, in the spirit of gift giving, I told my sister, you know, I've really been into yarn dyeing. Well, I dyed all of my skeins, so she sent me 4 skeins of the Knit Picks Wool of the Andes Sport Bear yarn. So I have 4 more skeins of yarn that I can dye, so that I can kind of play around with that. So I'm very thankful to my sister for doing that for me for Christmas. Thank you so very much. I love it. And I will be playing around with that hopefully very, very soon. But with that, as I said, I did dye all of the skeins that I had previously. And so in my last podcast, episode 9, I showed you the Adventures in Oz, the Sunset on Siesta Key, and the Mount St. Helens colorways that I had dyed. Well, I've got 2 more. I did show these on Instagram, but for those of you who don't have Instagram or didn't catch it, I have this one, and this is called Cardinals on a Winter's Night. Where I'm from, the cardinal birds do not fly south for the winter. They do not migrate, so they stay, and sometimes they are out at night in the snow. And so I dyed this colorway to represent the cardinals on a winter's night. So this is the Cardinals on a Winter's Night. This is on Bear Wool of the Andes. Bear Wool of the Andes is 100% Peruvian Highland wool. This is on the worsted weight, which is, I believe, like 220 yards. So I do have that. So what it is, it's half a variegated kind of tonal black, and then red and white on the other half. I wanted to give it kind of a self-striping effect. The other one I did is, it's this one here. And this is called Sneaking Candy at Midnight. So this is, again, half tonal black, and then the other half is speckled yellow, red, and blue, and then some of it mixed in some places. So you've got some green, some oranges, stuff like that. Here, I'll unwind this one because I really like the way this looks. Got to figure it out a little bit here. So, half black, and then half speckled. Speckled spread. The red spreads so easily. And then you've just got this white buffer zone, which I really like as well. So yeah, this is Sneaking Candy at Midnight. And this is on Bear Wool of the Andes Sport Weight, which is just a little bit more yardage. Give me just a second, I can find that specific number. Gotta get everything hanked back up here. It was a little tight. Oops. Okay, so the Bear Wool of the Andes Sport is 274 yards, and these are both 100 gram skeins. So yeah, I will be hopefully dyeing up some more stuff very soon. The last thing that I have gotten recently Christian repaid me. She was so excited about what I was doing for her because I was sending her the limited edition Hot Fuss vinyl album that was sold at Urban Outfitters. I found the last one here in Las Vegas. Then I sent her some magazines that Jimmy Kimmel did an interview with Brandon Flowers from The Killers, and it was in a magazine that we had here in Las Vegas, and she was unable to find it where she was, so I grabbed her a few copies. And so I sent all of that with the hat. So to repay me and to say thank you, she's like, I have to get you a gift. What do you want? And I said what I would really love is hand-dyed yarn from somebody else. And I wanted to get it from somebody here in Las Vegas, and there are a few yarn dyers. So I've had Tink Yarn, but Sin City Knit Shop does their own, and then there's somebody else that sells at the yarn shop, and for the life of me, I cannot remember the name of the yarn. But she still sells at that store locally. But then also Hugh Loco. No, not Hugh Loco. My bad. Lolo Did It. It's the O sounds. So Lolo Did It. I forget what her name is. Anyway, she dyes here in Las Vegas from her home studio. And then there's also Fiber for the People, who's Taylor of the Wool Needles Hands podcast. She's from Henderson, Nevada. Henderson is Las Vegas. It's like when you have a suburb that has just grown into the city next to it. Henderson is like that to Las Vegas. There's no real break. You're just driving and then all of a sudden you're in Henderson. So she lives in Henderson. That's Taylor of Wool Needles Hands podcast. Her company is called Fiber for the People. So she dyes here as well. So what I really wanted was some locally dyed yarn. Regardless of the fact that most of them sell online and have big followings all across the country and even the world, I still wanted something from the area I'm in. So Christian was very, very kind, and I told her that I would love something from Lolo Did It. So she went online, and I basically gave her the parameters of this is the kind of base, or these are the bases that I would choose from. Have fun. It's like, pick something that you like. And so she did. And here it is. This is called Something Blue. It is on the Lolo's Favorite base, which is an 80% superwash merino wool, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. It is fingering weight, and it is 430 yards for 100 grams. It's also a 3-ply. I am thrilled with this. Christian did a great job picking it out. I love both the simplicity and I love the simplicity of the speckles. There's a couple of different colors in here, but like different shades of blue. So you've got kind of like a turquoise teal color, then there's like a nice dark royal blue, there's kind of a lighter, like what I would consider just blue, and then there's like some pale areas in here where it's kind of pastel. So I am very thrilled with this. This is so soft. It's definitely the cashmere that's in this yarn. I don't know how much she paid for this. I know Lolo Did It is not the cheapest yarn, but she does a great job. If you have an opportunity, I would recommend just save up and get one skein. If all you can do is get one skein, or I guess this is a hank, do it. It's such beautiful, beautiful yarn. And she has so many beautiful colors and colorways and bases. There's something for everybody from Lolo Did It. So if you have the opportunity, pick some of this up. You will not regret it. Okay. Whew. I try to keep these short if I can. So that's all I really have for you this time. So really all I want to say is Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. I hope that the end of the year is coming to a good close for you. If you are struggling, I hope that things get better for you. I will send my positive vibes your way. I hope that next year is a better year if you haven't had a good year, and if you have had a good year, I hope it continues to get better. You know, I would never wish any kind of negative thing to happen to anybody. So just enjoy your holiday season. New Year's is coming up, so I hope you're gonna have a wonderful time celebrating the arrival of the new year. 2018 is just about a week away, so oof, I'm getting old. I'm kidding, that's probably insulting to people who are actually aging, but I feel old. I feel old. It's probably because I don't go to the gym. I have a membership, I don't pay for it. Or excuse me, I pay for it, but I don't go. Oops. Anyway, so have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. I hope to see you again here very soon. And so here at the end of the video, this is where I'm going to put the tree montage. Thank you again to everybody who sent me your tree pictures. A little bit about the music that's under the montage. The first is Sing We Now of Christmas, and the second is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. They were written and arranged for flute choir. I am playing all of the parts. I had the librarian from my flute choir send me all of the parts of this music, and I recorded it in my bedroom, and I mixed it and everything myself, so everything you're hearing is all me, and I hope that you enjoy. It was put together a little bit kind of quick, but I'm proud of it, and I hope you enjoy it as well. So, again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and enjoy the tree montage.